If you're a type of a person who is feeling less productive in your life, if you're a type of person who is not able to manage your time very well, if you're a type of person who is feeling very difficulty in order to make your life more efficient and more enhanced, then this video is for you. What if I tell you that you can achieve maximum number of outputs by applying only less and minimum inputs? What if I tell you that you can achieve more things in very less time? That means you can achieve twice the result by applying only 1/5 of the time. That means you can achieve maximum things in very much less time. You might think
कर रहे हो या सच बोल रहे हो?
सच बोल रहा हूँ.
I'm not joking, because I have come up with two such laws, two such principles, productivity principles and time management principles that will change your life as well completely. So without any further ado and without wasting any time, let's get started with the video. So let's get started with the number one law. Number one principle is 80 by 20 rule. 80 by 20 rule is the most influential principle that when you will apply this principle in your life, you become more productive. You can achieve maximum outputs in a very less minimum efforts. Right? 80 by 20 rule says that your 80% of the outputs can easily be achieved by applying only 20% of the inputs. That's why termed as 80 by 20 rule. That means you can achieve maximum outputs, you can achieve more outputs by only applying less and minimum inputs. That means you can achieve more in less, because this is very much influential in order to become more productive in life, right? If you want to become more productive, you have to do less things so that your energy can be saved, and you have to achieve maximum output so that your life can be fulfilled very much easily. But how is this possible that you can achieve 80% of outputs by applying only 20% of the inputs? That's very right, that you have to focus on the right amount of inputs. For example, you don't have to give the inputs and don't have to work hard as and when as you want. You have to work smartly as well. If your goal is to become more productive, then you have to focus on something that can easily make you more productive, as compared to something which can make you less productive in your life, right? For example, you have to eliminate some things in order to become more productive. If you want to achieve maximum number of output, then you have to give the right number of inputs to yourself. For example, if you have to write one article very much effectively in less than 1 hour, then what you can do is that you can distract and eliminate most of the things which cause you less productive. For example, that may be your smartphone, that may be your social media handles, right? That may be your laptop, that may be anything that distracts you in your life. And therefore you have to eliminate things, and you have to give focus to for around 20% of your input, and you have to give concentration of 20% into this work, into writing the articles, and therefore you can achieve maximum number of outputs with this. This is a very most brilliant technique that most people and most successful entrepreneurs and business leaders follow in order to make their life more productive, in order to manage their time more efficiently. And therefore you have also need to follow this kind of techniques. Other examples of 80 by 20 rule can be that 80% of your happiness and productiveness is responsible for 20% of the sources. That means if you look very wisely around your surroundings, if you look very wisely that around your environment, in your surroundings and environment, there are 20% of the sources that is only responsible for giving you 80% of the happiness or 80% of your productiveness. Therefore, you only have to manage this 20% and you have to leave the rest 80%, and therefore you have to focus on only on the less things, more important things, so that you can able to achieve maximum happiness and productiveness in your life. That is the most efficient thing. Another example could be that 80% of your unhappiness and less productiveness in your life is responsible by only 20% of the sources. That means you have to take care of these 20% sources. You have to eliminate these sources so that your life can be more productive. You can become more happy in your life. There may be people, there may be technical gadgets, there may be friends who just lead you to become less productive, who just lead you to become more unhappier in your life, and therefore you have to eliminate. That means eradicate those 20% of the sources in your life in order to become more productive and more happier in your life. This was the 80 by 20 rule. Now, second law, that is the most important law for in order to become more productive in life, in order to enhance your efficiency and time management skills in your life, is the law which is known as the Parkinson's law. It's a very efficient law and it's a very easier technique in order to become more effective and more productive in your life. Parkinson's law states that your task swells up. That means your task expands as proportional to the time that you give to complete that particular task. That means whatever time that you give to this particular task, the completion of the task will expand as proportional to the time that you give to this task. That means you only have to give less deadlines. That means you only have to give less amount of time to this particular work. If you will give less amount of time to this particular work, then you will be more focused and you can achieve more things by applying only less efforts. The basic example of Parkinson's law is that, let's suppose I gave you 30 minutes to clean this room, which is around 10 square feet, and therefore you know very well that you will only take 10 minutes. It will only take 10 minutes to clean the entire room, but intentionally I still give you 30 minutes. Now, since I give you 30 minutes, your whole task, that is the in order to clean the room, that whole task will swell up. That means it will expand to up to 30 minutes. In spite of that, you know that you can complete this task in less than 10 minutes, but still you can complete this task in 30 minutes. This is the basic reason of Parkinson's law. Why is that? If we are giving the deadline of 5 hours to complete in the particular task, we only take 5 hours to complete this task. Why not 1 hour? Why is that when someone gives a task to complete and it takes for less than 2 hours, but the person has given the deadline for 2 days? Why we complete that task in particular 2 days? Why not 2 hours? This is the basic example of Parkinson's law. Therefore, the basic trick is to trick your mind, say to your mind that the deadline is not for 2 days, but the deadline is for 2 hours. Deadline is not for 4 hours, but deadline is for half an hour. And therefore, you can achieve maximum number of output by applying only less minimum effort. By saying to your mind that you have a very less deadline, you have a very very minute and very precise deadline, therefore your mind becomes more panic. And when you are panic, that means your productivity gets increased. You become more productivized and you can focus on your work very deeply, and therefore you can complete your work very much efficiently and in very less time. That means you can achieve twice the results by saving 1/4 or maybe 1/5 of your time. That means if a task is for 10 hours to complete, you can even complete in 2 hours. If a task for 4 hours to complete, it can even complete it for half an hour. That is the beauty of Parkinson's law, and therefore you must apply this beauty. That is, you must trick your mind for the deadline, that deadline is very much closer as compared to when deadline is very much far, and therefore you can save this time to utilize this time to become more productive and do something useful in your life. So guys, these were the two basic laws and basic techniques that you can apply in your life in order to be more productive, and you can manage your time very much efficiently. I hope that these two laws have given you some value and given you some good important lessons in your life, so that you can be more productive and more knowledgeable in your life. So if you have learned new from this video, then please hit the like button and please share and subscribe to my channel, and I will keep bringing these kinds of videos in the future. I'll see you again next time. Bye. Take care.